Listen here for now. A brain is a creature of habit. Whatever you feed your brain, it becomes its nature. So feed your brain with this knowledge so that it becomes its nature. All the wisdom of this world is hidden in the great books of all this world. And even in my books in this house.
Even that one, Baba.
Even that one, my boy.
You are a great father, Baba. I wonder what I would do if you're not here.
I'll always be here, Baba.
Yeah, Baba.
So tell her. Alright? I'm getting old, my son. Even my shoes are getting old. Between those shoes and myself, I'm the one who's going to die first. So when I'm no longer here, I want you to take my shoes, wear them, and move this family forward. Says what?
But Baba, I can do that even now.
But you're still going to be with us until the end of time.
I will be with you in spirit, my son. But my flesh will get old and die. Which is why I say to you, wear my shoes and move this family forward. Says what? This is how it is. I learned from my father. And now I'm teaching you. When I will teach you Temba and teach all your children. Says what? I went shake family. That's good, man.
Temba.
You are my warrior, the commander of this house. With this apron, I wanted to keep you safe and clean.
My name is Mxolisi Masilela. I'm the writer, the director of the play These Are Not My Shoes.
Bonjour, my name is Robs. I'm the production manager from the TX Theatre. I'm here in Limpopo at the Library Gardens. Ritore Seva, nice, top-notch theatre from Tembisa. About the show, These Are Not My Shoes. So These Are Not My Shoes, it made me cry from first day of rehearsal. Even today, when I was watching it from a distance, it made me cry once again. So it's a very well-written piece, written by Mxolisi Masilela, of which it drives points home. It's very mentally awakening because it speaks of things that are happening. It touches on people fatherless and broken men. So we live in a world where men are vanishing with no reason. We live in a world where fathers just disappear. So with this piece, we want to awaken and say, fathers, come back home. Your children need you. However reason that made you leave, we still love you. We need you back. So that's the main aim of the show. The acting part, Temba, we have Temba played by Thabang Chauke. He's a market theatre graduate. On point, we have Untate, Ntate Silolo, who's playing Olani. He's an UP graduate. We have the great Masilela. He's a Windy Brow graduate and a veteran director. And we have Mxolisi Mabunda. Mxolisi Mabunda is playing Simon, which is the father. He's also a graduate and a doctor in his own right. And we have the lady who's playing Gelly. She's also a graduate. Yeah.
My name is Mxolisi Mabunda, and I'm part of the theatre play These Are Not My Shoes, and I played the character Simon Masilela.
My name is Thabang Chauke. I'm an actor, and the show that I was playing on is called These Are Not My Shoes. It's a theatre production that was started in 2016 by Mxolisi Masilela. He wrote and directed it.
I was playing a character by the name of Mxolisi Masilela, and I was in a show called These Are Not My Shoes, directed and written by Mxolisi Masilela.
So I am Olane in the play, and then Temba is my younger brother. So this occurred when I was 6 years old, and my younger brother was 4 years old. But when I'm writing the play, I just move it just further so that it could be, the conversation could be heard and could be better. So yes, it's my life and my lived experiences.
The way I understand Simon is that he's a loving father in the beginning, but I think he still remains as a loving father. It's just that certain circumstances led him to leave his family and leave his wife and children. We do not really say it in the play or what happened, but from what happened, something big happened from his side, and no one did anything to him. No one forced him to leave, and no one pushed him to leave. So yeah, that's how I understand Simon.
I am playing Temba. He's youngest in the family. He's asthmatic. He really loves his father. He dreams that he could become a better version, or a version that is closer to him when he grows up. So he really looks up to the man, and he wishes that he becomes a better version of himself, or of him.
My character, Yagatolani, purpose yayona, it was to show the frustration that young boys have when their fathers leave. My character shows that the struggle that young boys have when their fathers leave, because as young boys, when we grow up, we believe that our fathers are our only role models, and if they are not there, we struggle. So the director, we want to take through my character, and what I like about it is that character yaka is versatile. You know, it's versatile in a way. While working on it, I was relating to the true story of it. I was relating to what I was saying. I was relating because my father left me, and for me to nail the character, I had to go back. I had to go back so that I can remember how it felt when I knew that my father left me. And it made it easier for me to really put the truth out there.
For me is always we have conversations around women and women empowerment and women problems, and no one talks about men. No one has a conversation about men. No one has an interest to understand why men are so violent. No one has an interest to know why men are so broken. And the beginning is that we are all from broken families, and we have pains, and those pains are not healing, and we tend to be violent. And hence we have this huge problem in our country. So that's what I wanted. I wanted to start a conversation around that. So the story is not concluded. I'm still living. My father is not yet back. It's been 26 years now, and we still miss him. We still want to have a conversation with him. So, and it's not only me. Like, there's a generation of young men that have no fathers and have no conclusion. They have no answers to the questions they have, and we're still searching for that space and a moment of healing. So hence the conclusion. Challenges, no. So we had challenges prior, but now we own a theater space, so we have access to everything that we need. And the festival has given us money to do the work, so there were never challenges to put together this work. And it's a long existing work, so there were no challenges, to be honest. So yeah, we did not face any challenges.
Okay, so with These Are Not My Shoes, These Are Not My Shoes is not a new play. It's a play, it has traveled the world. It has been in Mozambique. It has played in Tembisa. It has played at the Joburg Theatre. So These Are Not My Shoes is a play of which it did not start today. And what influenced the writing is that it's a personal thing. The writer and the director, it's something that occurred. It's his way of painting his life, right? So the challenges that came across, the major problem was the rehearsal. You know, rehearsal is always straining, you know? Rehearsal is always challenging. Rehearsal is always demanding, right? but we professionals. We studied this, we know this, so the show is great and everything. When I talk to my director, so what kills many people is that they get into the rehearsal space with knowing, right? So we get into the field, we explore the field, we learn the field to an extent whereby we know what to do from whatever coming up. You understand? So that is the build up to this production, and we are here, and people are relating. So yeah, that's just my take.
First of all, it was a bit of a challenge because I'm also a father and I would never leave my own kids. So it was challenging to try and think, how would a person that would leave his family act? How would a person that can leave his family behave? So it was challenging, and also because this is inspired by a true story, and it's a true story of my friend. I actually know Simon. I don't know him too well, but I know of him and I know I've met him. So yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't say that I have a specific moment that I like, but I would say that the whole show holds as, I think the whole show moves the message across, because I feel like what's the point of us playing the suffering without the joy, without the nice moments? I feel like those are the moments that make us really connect when we really go deeper into the story, because without that, then we're just seeing trauma and a household breaking apart without us actually connecting from the onset. So I feel like the whole show for me really holds.
The moment where my father beats my mother, that is the moment that touched me, because I've once saw a woman being beaten in front of me. And when it's being portrayed on stage, it's as if that memory iyabuya futhi. So I struggled a lot to keep my emotions to me, because I could relate to what was happening. And it makes me think, Ore, how women feel out there when being brutally abused by men, and yet they still stay in that house because in the name of love. So yeah, that's the moment that stood out for me.
They're both happy and sad. The first one is when he was celebrating his family and giving them gifts, and just being a father that everyone wishes to have. And then the second one was when he left. It was impactful again, because I'm also a father, and I thought, how would I feel if I were to leave my family? So yeah.
I think it starts by humans, to a certain level. We are all in search of our parts that we do not know they exist, right? We're in search of a language and belonging, and we're in search of what it means to be a man, what it means to be a woman. And in the midst of that, we get confused and we lose it. So I think humans have started in a quest of finding themselves, and with policies and systems that create us to live under, and then they find themselves messed up and breaking other people because they're broken themselves.
I feel like I'm the exact opposite of what I'm playing, and my situation at home is the exact opposite, because my dad is there, my mom is there, and there was this one point where they came and watched the show, and now they were crying, and I'm like, and I can't have that conversation with my dad. I'm like, yo, did you see the show? Did you see what happened? And he's like, yeah. Probably he's thinking in his mind, like, dude, I'm here. Yeah, where are you getting this? How are you connecting to this thing? You know? But I feel like also it's like muscle memory, and building the skill to like connect with people from not judging them and not seeing yourself as higher than anyone else. I feel like that's a great point to start as an actor, to not be judgmental of anyone else, because you might be presented with an opportunity to play that person. And if you do not welcome that person, and if you do not take that person in, then it's going to be hard for you to play that person in the future, you know? So, and people always say this to me, Ure, why are you so humble? Like, I'm not humble, you know? I just take in the whole situation. I take everyone in so that in the future, I could be playing you. I could be holding a camera. I could be anyone in the near future. So, yeah.
No, theater is an immediate medium, right? So theater is important. And where I come from, the theater that I own and run is in the heart of the township, where people are. And it's always packed every day. So it's still relevant from where I come from. And also, even here, it's relevant. People are here. So I don't see a need for people not to write for theater. It's still relevant. In theater, you see it and hear it and react, and it's immediate. So let's continue doing it. Yeah.
I think it's still relevant because theater is a life experience, and sometimes as people we like to have that experience of actually seeing and be able to touch and engage with a person that you've seen on stage. So I think it's very important, and I think it's still relevant because we still have people coming to the theater. I mean, in this theater alone, it's almost packed. It's near packed. So I think it's still relevant because there are people who still are longing for theater and want to do theater. And why not TV? We're actually looking to make this into a film.
Guys, let's get inside.
So yeah, why not TV? I guess right now maybe it's not the time yet for it to be on TV. Unless if you're asking me personally, why not TV? I don't know. I've never really thought about doing TV. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't have a problem with it. But I'm more pulled towards the theater.
With many people that I've came across, they've always said that TV will make you famous and theater will make you good. Because in theater, there's no cuts. If you make a mistake, you must embrace that mistake and you must continue with it. You know?
I think it's very important. It's very important for one to study, whether conventional or unconventional, but it's important. Because at the end of the day, studying gives you the skill and it also gives you the experience. It gives you the know-how on how to actually do what you're doing. So I think studying is very important and it should be taken very seriously.
Sure. Education is very important. Living in the world that we live in today, you find, I often hear people that, okay, bruh, I want to act, I want to act, but where have you learned, right? The theater is a reflection of the community, is the most immediate way to teach another person how it is to be another human being. So education is very important. If you want to be an actor, go to school. I was having a conversation with Thabo Mkabela now, Leshole, right? He went to school, he studied the craft, he masters the craft because he studied it. And that's the importance of education. If you want to be an actor, if you want to do theater, go and study, because you will come to us and say, how will we cast you, Usaba, Ladibuka? Go and read books. Books are very important in craft, right? You get into a space, if you don't read books, you do shit. You get on stage, you do nonsense. I'm sorry to say this on camera, but if you do not study your craft, you get on stage and show people nonsense. So go and read, understand the craft, learn the craft, know the craft.
Oh, so yes, we studied for this thing and we're still in the process of studying it. I'm still studying at TUT. I'm studying performing arts. For me to go there and really study this thing is because I fell in love with it, and after falling in love with it, then I started to decide, okay, you love this thing, but in order for you to get successful, you need to get a paper so that you can get a proper work and so that you can stand and say, this is what I have. It's proof that I know what I'm doing. It's important to study, but it's not always important to study at institutions, but you can study it by yourself. Go into the library, find the books, reading books about performing, about acting. That's also self-study. It's really important because you have to know what you're doing. In order for you to understand what you do, you need to know it first, so that you can know why are you doing this and why is it implemented. You should know the different styles in theaters, so that when you do a play, you know where to focus in. And for me, theater, it's the mother of all acting or actors. It is where we breed actors. This is where actors they become themselves. This is the moment and a place where you can discover who you are, your true potential. Because theater, it does not limit you. You can do whatever you want in theater, but in TV, you can never do whatever you want, because they just want you to become you. But in theater, you can do any style that you want. There's absurdism, So TV, it limits you, but theater, it never limits you. You become who you want to become, and that's where you discover your true potential. And people should really invest in theater, because that's where great actors are. The people you see on TV, they're not great actors, but they're just there because they had the opportunity. But if the casting directors and all the people in the media could come to theaters and pick actors from the theaters, then we will see a difference in the TV. Now, we have to bring theater to the television, because theater is what we live in our daily lives. Yeah.
Well, I feel like, it's process. And also because it's the true life story of the actual writer and the director. And he actually had a conversation with us and told us the story of what happened, And I feel like as our job as actors, it's important for us to believe, not to try and convey an emotion. So when you told us that story, it was our job to believe in it, so that we don't act, but we are in the moment, in real time, So it's not actually about emotions, but believing the situation that the writer and the director was in at that particular moment in time.
The message is always driven because the director made sure that the message is delivered, right? The writer made sure that the message is delivered. When we took this production to Mozambique, people were crying, So, and now I see people are emotional because they can relate and stuff. Other way, that is just that, man.
With this play particularly, I've seen it. So I've experienced the violence in real life, and I know how it felt like. So in the process of recreating it, I was chasing the feeling I had when I experienced the violence. So the negotiation was, even when I was recreating this moment, I felt this certain way. And in a rehearsal room, we searched for that feeling until we found it. As writers, we are the danger of our community, and we are the blessing at the same time. So what I could say to other writers is that let's write what is important. Let's write what is needed. Before you pick up the pen, just know that whatever, or have a thought of whatever that you're writing, is it going to belt or is it going to break, right? Is it going to heal or is it going to provoke? Is it going to bring about change in the community or is it going to destroy?
It's basically just do it. Do it. Don't be afraid. Whatever you think that is right for you to put on stage or to put on film or to put in a song or put in a drawing or whatever that is connected to the arts, do it. Take the first step and do it, and then it will create more steps for you as well.
Well, I would say don't follow what everyone else is doing. So if you truly want to become an actor, do it because you wanted to. You want to become an actor, and be patient with yourself, and don't rush things to happen quickly. Because everyone will succeed at an appointed time. Everyone has their own time to succeed. So do not rush yourself to get into the industry as yet. God has set a time for you, and you need to be patient enough to wait for that time. But do not wait not doing anything, constantly work, constantly go to shows, watch shows, have conversations with people who are writers, directors, people who are in the industry, and ask for more advice from them. So, because each and every one has different advices that will build you up to a better version of yourself.
The advice that I can have to them is that they should really go to school and study this thing, because if not, now the industry is very brutal. If you want to make it, you have to show a paper, and if you don't have a paper, then you won't be worthy enough. So the advice that I can give them is that they should, as a writer, they should not go far away trying to make up stories, but they should use their own experiences and use them and show them on stage. That's how they should express themselves. So as an actor, they should use acting as a therapy so that they can heal from it, because it's the process of healing and it's the process of telling stories that happened to us. It's the process of educating people. So if you can educate people about what's happening around your surrounding, then I think they are going to be great writers, actors, and script writers.